Hello and welcome to the Capitola Planning Commission meeting for Thursday, November 6, 2025. This meeting is open to the public with both in-person attendance at the City of Capitola Council Chambers at 420 Capitola Avenue, and remote viewing is also possible. The Planning Commission and staff are attending in person, and members of the public wanting to offer public comment need to be present. The public can live stream the meeting on the city's website, on YouTube, or on Zoom following the link on the meeting agenda. As always, this meeting is cablecast live on Spectrum Communications Cable TV Channel 8 and AT&T UVerse Channel 99. It's being recorded for rebroadcast on the following Mondays and Fridays at 1 o'clock on Spectrum Channel 71 and Spectrum Channel 25. A recording of the meeting will also be available on the city's website after the meeting. Our technician tonight is Paloma Bobadilla. And as a reminder, please turn off your cell phones during the meeting. Can we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Howard, Commissioner Q,
Here.
Commissioner Welch,
Here.
Vice Chair Christensen, here, Chair Esty.
Here. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Okay, item 2, additions and deletions to the agenda. We have one item, additional materials.
Staff received 3 emails after publication of the agenda packet for item 5B, and they have all been included and distributed to staff.
Okay, thank you. Okay, oral communications. This is an opportunity for the public to speak. Please review the section on how to provide comments to the Planning Commission for instructions. Oral communications allows time for the members of the public to address the Planning Commission on any consent item on tonight's agenda or any topic within the jurisdiction of the city that is not on the public hearing section of the agenda. Members of the public may speak for up to 3 minutes unless otherwise specified by the chair. Individuals may not speak more than once during oral communications, and all speakers must address the entire legislative body and is not permitted to engage in dialogue. Is there anybody from the public that would like to make a comment tonight to the committee? No? Okay. Seeing none, we go to item 4 on our agenda, starting with Planning Commission comments. Any commissioners want to make a comment at this point? Okay, and staff.
Yes, I just wanted to inform you or inform the public that on November 19th, we're having a special Planning Commission meeting that will be focused on the Capitola Mall and zoning code updates. And the night after that, on November 20th, there'll be the City Council meeting. It'll be a community meeting at New Brighton Middle School to give updates on all the projects that are happening within the city of Capitola. So hope the public can join us for both.
Okay, thank you. Item number 5 is the consent calendar. All matters listed under consent calendar are considered by the Planning Commission to be routine or be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. Be no separate discussion on these items prior to the time the Planning Commission votes on the action unless the Planning Commission requests specific items to be discussed for separate review, and those items pulled for separate discussion will be considered in the order listed on the agenda. Are there any commissioners that wish to remove any of the consent calendar items for discussion? No? Okay, can we have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Move approval.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. And can we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Q,
Aye.
Commissioner Welch,
Aye.
Vice Chair Christensen, aye, Chair Esty.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, item number 6 are public hearings. Public hearings intended to provide an opportunity for public discussion of each item listed as a public hearing. Procedure is as follows: staff presentation, Planning Commission questions, public comment, and Planning Commission deliberation, and then finally a decision. And the first item on our agenda is 108 Fairview Avenue, to which I must recuse myself, and I will hand over to Vice Chair Christensen.
Aye. Thank you.
All right, just staff presentation.
Thank you. Good evening. Let's see if this, one moment. Okay, the application before you is for 108 Fairview Avenue. This is for a ADU design permit and coastal development permit, which also includes ADU deviation requests, two of them, and this project is located in the R1 zone. So this is the subject property as it appears today. And it's located in the middle of Fairview Avenue between Grand and Central Avenues. The existing dwelling here is recognized and listed on the 1986 Architectural Survey of Capitola, so it is considered a historic resource. The garage in the rear, which is also part of this project that's proposed for demolition, is not listed in that description or listing and is not considered a historic contributing resource. And this is the site plan here. The new ADU and garage would be located behind the existing dwelling in the approximate location of that existing garage. And I left a little bit there on the left-hand side, but it's accessed from an alleyway that's behind the lot. These are the first and second story floor plans. The ground level is predominantly the garage. There's two full-size spaces in there which serve the primary dwelling and continue to meet the primary dwelling's required parking. There's also a small utility area and restroom. And then above is the ADU. The ADU is only on the top floor and is accessed from the exterior staircase and deck, which also serve as its required dedicated open space for the ADU. And here are the front and rear elevations. The front of this structure faces towards the inner courtyard, but also in turn Fairview Avenue. And then the rear faces towards the alleyway. This ADU is subject to full design standards for ADUs, and it does meet all of those standards that are covered in the report, but I can go over them as we move forward if there are any questions. The project utilizes horizontal board siding throughout, as well as comp shingles, aluminum clad windows, and a sweeping dormer on the front face. Part of the ADU design standards are to match the historic structure, and they did that with the roof pitch and the gable roof, which you can see on this elevation. And on the front face, it has a large dormer going across as well. This is the site and landscape plan. There's one small fruit tree in the front yard. They are not proposing any changes along Fairview, so the changes here are predominantly towards the rear, not visible from the public, but they are as part of this project and with our tree ordinance requirements for new development, are proposing a tree in their existing and remaining courtyard area. Okay, there are two ADU deviations for this project, as I mentioned at the beginning. First one is related to the parking requirement for the ADU. ADUs that are greater than 16 feet in height are subject to full ADU standards. That includes parking provisions and that a requirement that they provide at least one on-site parking space in addition to the primary dwellings parking. So that would bring the site's requirement from 2 spaces to 3. The first deviation request is that that the Planning Commission waive that requirement for parking for the ADU, bringing the on-site requirement back down to 2 spaces, which is what they've proposed to keep on the site. The Planning Commission may grant a deviation or deviations if they can make the findings shown above. This is similar but distinct from a variance in that it's only applicable to ADUs, and it has a separate findings, the one shown here, which is generally a little more permissive than a variance finding, but it includes a lot of the same themes, which is that there are some unique circumstances that are applicable here. A number of reasons that can be applicable, such as topography, location, something that is not controllable by the applicant. So I wanted to show for context here, this is the alleyway taken just further down the alleyway, looking towards Central Avenue, how they would access the property. Again, in the center is the garage. There are a number of difficulties posed with trying to have more than 2 spaces on this site. The applicant did present a number of concepts through their application review process that included a 3rd space, sometimes on the side of adjacent to the garage ADU, sometimes in front of the garage and perpendicular to it. And in trying to provide that 3rd space, it presented numerous complications and issues besides just making the overall ADU design a little bit different, where they would have to cantilever it a lot. But it also posed issues for circulation, not just for their own parking uses, but also for the adjacent alleyway users, as it's quite tight. And also issues such as having a full lot width driveway. So, and this lot is already a substandard in terms of its overall size, as well as the fact that it is not accessible from its primary street frontage, and that is not mitigatable as the primary dwelling is historic. The second ADU deviation request is related to the guaranteed allowance. In the staff report and attachments, we included the language itself comparing the 2 different versions that right now can apply depending on which part of the city you are in, whether it's the coastal zone or outside the coastal zone. As the Planning Commission may recall, earlier this year, we passed the ordinance related to a number of zoning code amendments, corrections, and updates. That included a number of amendments to our ADU chapter, which are requirements under continuing updates to state legislation. And that included amendments to the language related to the guaranteed allowance, which allows, under certain circumstances, ADUs or an ADU to exceed the maximum allowed floor area of a lot. Under the previous code, which is still applicable in the coastal zone, that included a number of criteria that included height, in that the ADU would not exceed 16 feet in height. Under the revised code language, the height component was struck from the guaranteed allowance criteria, so height is no longer a factor of consideration for eligibility with the guaranteed allowance. This ordinance was passed by City Council, so it is considered effective outside the coastal zone. And again, this is a part of required updates that the city had to make. So we're now at this point waiting on coastal certification. Because of that, staff felt that this is an unusual circumstance for the applicant, where the city has already adopted this, and that it's in official capacity, and yet because of its waiting on that certification, it's not yet applicable here, but the same application outside of the coastal zone would be eligible for the guaranteed allowance by right. So that is an unusual circumstance, and otherwise any other application like this would be able to take advantage of the guaranteed allowance. The ADU itself is about 559 square feet and would exceed the maximum allowed FAR by 200 square feet. So in all other respects, it would meet the current criteria or the pending criteria. So staff was supportive of this request, as well as the prior request for parking. And with that, we're recommending approval based on the attached conditions and findings. And if you have any questions, I'm available.
Thank you. Do we have any questions?
I just had one quick question, and not so much about the project, but the Coastal Commission. Do we have a timeline when we expect them to certify that updates?
I think it's going to be sometime in, hopefully in the first quarter of 2026, but I don't have a specific or tentative date yet.
Thanks, Sean.
So by all objective standards now waiting up for the Coastal Commission, it meets everything, all the requirements.
That's correct.
Okay, that's all the questions we have right now. Okay, we're going to open up the public hearing to public comment. Does anybody wish to speak on this issue or this project? Hearing none, closing the public comment and moving to Planning Commission deliberation.
I recommend approving the project with the conditions listed.
Okay, we have a motion. And do you have a second?
I'm sorry,
Oh, do you have
yeah, the motion was to go ahead and approve the staff recommendation along with the recommendations assigned to it.
I know this is a very challenging lot right there, and I think the applicant did a great job just trying to fit everything into the design of it, so I'm inclined to also approve it, and I'll second the motion.
Okay, great. We have a first and a second.
Commissioner Q,
Aye.
Commissioner Welch,
Aye.
Vice Chair Christensen.
Aye. And the motion passes. Thank you. Okay, we think we could invite Paul back in. Commissioner Esty.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, item 6B is the property at 406A Pine Street.
So first, I'd like to introduce Gina Paulini, and Gina works for CSG, a planning group that we are contracting with while we have our recruitment for a senior planner open. So Gina's a principal planner and has lots of experience, including working for the city of Capitola in the past. So welcome, Gina, and we really appreciate all your help right now.
Deja vu being here in this space. It's been a while. Oh, so good evening, Chair and Commission. So this is a design permit for 506A Pine Street. And the request before you tonight is a second-story addition to an existing duplex, a new detached two-story residential unit, and requests for deviations to the city's objective design standards. This is this location. The existing duplex is there shown with the arrow. On. Okay. So here's the site plan. You can see Unit B is in the green, Unit A is the fuchsia color, and the new unit is Unit C in the yellow. I'm going to come back to this site plan to show you a few little features as I go through the presentation. So the project was analyzed in accordance with the zoning code, and it is non-conforming to the rear and interior east side setbacks. A project cost analysis was completed, and the project does not exceed the 80% of the fair market value, which is the city's standard for determining whether they can update the site and add additional square footage without bringing the project site into conformance with the code. All other provisions of the RMM zone district have been met. So I'm going to go ahead and walk through the deviations, and I may go back to that site plan to show them to you. So the first deviation they're asking for is to the building entry for the new structure. And the design standards require that the primary entry should be street facing to have a connection to the public realm. There's no alternative method of compliance proposed. And the reason for this is the existing layout of the duplex faces interior to the site with their parking, entry, and open space. And to keep with the existing layout, and because of the topography of the site, the applicant has designed all the entries facing interior of the site. And when staff analyzed this and when it went through the design committee, it was determined that this was probably acceptable, that the social connections would be interior and it would be more keeping with what was going on there today. The second deviation they're asking for is for the pedestrian walkway. And the code requires that a 6-foot in width walkway is required from the public street to the building entrances. And again, because of the topography changes and the location of the building entrances, this compliance is really challenging. So they have proposed an alternative method, and that's providing a material and color change along the driveway to encourage pedestrian use. And I'm gonna go back and show that to you. So you can see the green, and they're gonna put that along the driveway to just encourage the use outside of the public, the driveway. The building official looked at that and said that they did not have to comply with ADA requirements. So that was found to be acceptable. The third deviation is windows and doors, and the objective standard requires that the glass be inset a minimum of 3 inches from the exterior wall or from the surface to add relief to the wall surface. And this is, the deviation is being requested for the new structure, and no alternative method of compliance was being proposed. And we recommended that the project comply because this is a new structure and they should comply. So here are the elevations, and you can see on the left is the existing structure, and then on the right is the proposed structure. So you can see the addition on the right. You see that the addition is on the Unit B, which is the back of the duplex. Here's a little bit better visual of it. The existing elevation is on the top, and then the proposed addition is on the bottom. So you can see that the second story addition on the existing duplex is actually at the rear of the site. And again, here is the east elevation. This is on the side. And you can see in the lighter gray, you can see where the new unit is just kind of popping up on above the lower portion of the existing duplex. So this is the new unit, and you can see what they're doing is trying to update the existing duplex and have all the architectural fit and kind of make them all look the same. This is interior to the site. And this is the front elevation of the new unit. So tonight we're recommending that the commission consider the design permit and the objective design standard deviations and approve the project with the conditions and findings. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners, any questions?
I have one. With the color change of the pedestrian walkway, is that, are you intending to paint it, or is it going, like, paint it green, or is it going to be a material change?
It'll be a material change.
Okay, so it's not going to just be like a,
No, it'll be a material change.
okay, thank you.
There was a review by RRM, and a number of recommendations were requested. Can you comment on the applicant's response to those requests? I think there were 18 or something like that.
Sorry, which ones did you want to?
Well, did they, in general, they're asking for three sort of variances, not quite variances, but change in design standards, but there were like 18 requests made. Did they comply with the remaining 15?
They did. They complied with all the requests.
They changed their
except for those.
design to
Yes, they did.
accommodate what the city's requesting.
They did. They removed the siding on the existing structure. They complied with everything. The windows are changed. Everything except for the 3 deviations that I've discussed tonight.
Okay. And then just out of curiosity, the 3-inch inset of windows, what's the rationale for that? Anybody know?
These are the multifamily requirements, and that's really a design standard for a larger multifamily complex. So on a single-family home that's on a multifamily lot, it's not, it's really intended for a larger building.
Okay. Okay, thanks. That's an interesting one. Any other questions? Okay, do we have a presentation by the applicant or any discussion by the applicant?
The applicant is here and is happy to answer questions.
Good evening. My name's Daniel Sepkin. I represent the owners. Just really wanted to say thank you to the planning department and all the staff there. We had Brian initially, and then Gina took over. And just thank for all their help and coordination and just clarity on what's needed. It's a big task to get it to hearing, so we're pleased we're here. And yeah, I think you really explained the deviations we're requesting, and I'm happy to answer any questions. I believe there may be some public comments, so I'll stick around to answer any questions.
Okay, any questions, commissioners? Nope. Okay, now we'll open it up to public comment. Does anybody from the public want to comment on this design?
Hello, everybody. It's nice to see some old friends here. And I wanted to tell you that my name is Dave Kramer. My wife, Ann, and I live next door to the proposed project. And we're very enthusiastic for the Kellys to move forward and hope that it goes smoothly for them. We have had some discussions about 2 aspects. One is because the existing structure is very close, if not, is very close to the lot line. And with the addition of the second story and what looked like some staircases and whatnot, we have agreed with the Kellys that we would reserve the right later, soon, if we determine that we should do our own verification of the integrity of the lot line. And we're not abdicating our right to the property as we bought it. The second aspect, which we're really excited about, is that it's our understanding that the Kellys have agreed to rebuild and move onto the lot line a fence that encroaches onto our property for about 50 or 60 square feet. So we've reached that agreement with them. Gina was involved, and I really very much appreciate the help that we got to come to that conclusion. So I wanted to express our enthusiasm, wish the Kellys good luck, but also make certain that it's public that, we reserve the right to invest in having the integrity of the lot line checked if we decide to. At this point, it's an easement between our property and the 2 townhouses below us. It's a 10-foot easement, so it's really not that big a deal, but really glad they're moving the fence.
Okay, thank you. Any other public comment at this point? Okay, seeing none, I'll bring it back to the commissioners for deliberation. Anybody want to start on this one? I think we should, we should. They have asked for 3 design variances for the building entry orientation, where there's no alternative method proposed, the walkway where they change the color to show the walkway, differentiating it from the driveway, and then the windows and the doors, a setback of 3 inches, which staff is recommending as a condition of approval, condition number 22, that they actually adhere to that standard. So, anybody want to go first?
I have to go first. So I know with any development that comes through our community, it takes a partnership, and I'm happy to see that neighbors are able to work through things together on that, especially with the amount of deviations and working with the city. This has probably not been an easy project, but we always appreciate the patience of it. On that note, I would like to make a motion on there, and I'm inclined to approve it, to approve the project at 506A Pine Street based on the findings and conditions and in the staff report.
Before you jump to that, let's see if there are other comments from Commissioner.
I would just like to make a general comment that I'm glad to see people incorporating more housing in such a tasteful way that's not overcrowded, but well appropriated. And I would second that motion.
Commissioner Welch, do you have any comments?
I don't have really any comments other than glad to see the Kramers working with them. And I remember you guys going through your project. It was quite an undertaking. And so good neighbors to assist in this new change there. So yeah, I think it's a great seeing the community work together.
Yeah, I would agree with that comment. It's good to see neighbors and the city all working together, and Lord knows we need housing here, so the more the merrier. Okay, now, anybody want to make a motion?
Yes, I'm happy to move to approve the project at 506A Pine Street based on the findings and conditions in the staff report.
I'll second.
And we have a roll call.
Commissioner Q,
Aye.
Commissioner Welch,
Aye.
Vice Chair Christensen,
Aye.
Chair Esty.
Aye. Thank you very much, and congratulations. Okay, item number 7 is the director's report.
Okay, just again, a couple of items that are coming up. So November 13th, City Council meeting will be providing an update on the 41st Avenue Corridor Plan. And in that, we've identified goals through all the public outreach that has been done. So that'll be an interesting one to track. November 19th is your next meeting, and it's a special meeting on the Capitola Mall and the zoning updates. The draft of the zoning updates will be available not this Friday, but next Friday. So definitely, I think just to inform the public, at the Capitola Mall, under our housing element, we're required to increase the height to 75 feet and the floor area to 2.0 and excluding garages. We've had 2 work sessions on this item and a community meeting. So this is the first time you'll be seeing a draft ordinance by all that feedback that we've received. And lastly, on the 20th, the following night, there'll be a city council town hall. And I think this is a great opportunity for the public. We've got so much going on in the city between Bay Avenue and the Capitola Mall, 41st Avenue Corridor Study, just lots and lots of projects, Jade Street. So we're asking the public to come out. It's a really big space. There'll be lots of chairs, and we'll be providing updates, a couple slides on each project, but just to get everyone up to date on what's happening in Capitola. It's kind of like a state of the city. So that should be fun. And with that, that concludes my comments for this evening.
I'm sorry, what's the location? Where's the location for that?
New Brighton Middle School in the Performing Arts Center out by the front of the building. Yep.
Great.
And I believe it starts at 6 p.m., but I can check on that really quickly.
Yeah, we certainly encourage the public to show up at that. There is a lot of information that will be available. And as the director Hurley said, there are a lot of projects going on in the city right now that we all really should participate in.
Yeah, 6 p.m. start, and it will also be recorded, so if anyone is unable to attend, they can watch it at a later date on our YouTube channel, so.
Great, thank you. Okay, with that, we adjourn tonight's meeting, and our next meeting will be the special meeting about the ordinances on the mall, November 19th at 5 o'clock. It's an early start. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.